Hi, dear friends. My name is Rohini Moradi, and I am the founder here at Magic Inclined. I am so excited to dive into the world of altars with you and space creation. So before we really dive in, I want to kind of tell you a little bit about me so you know where I'm coming from. So I grew up in the only temple in the middle of Iran, located in Tehran. And the only Hindu temple, I should say. My father was the pujari, which is the equivalent of priest. And yeah, I lived there until 8 years old. So we had a lot of ceremonies. We had a giant altar there. And also, since my father was a pujari, he spent a lot of time traveling around India, and we all went along with him. We traveled north, south, east, west, middle. Like we traveled all over India and stayed at like some of the most beautiful ancient temples there are where he spoke. So I got to experience a lot of like behind the scenes stuff. And I don't know, I feel like that experience really built a really cool relationship between me and altars in general. So I'm so excited to share this information with you. All right. And and at the time that I'm recording this right now, it's September 30th, but whether you're joining me right now, which some of you, hello, or you're joining me later and you're rewatching this later, hello to you too. It's always a really great time to start an altar, but especially in October, which is why we're doing it. It's the full moon tomorrow. What a beautiful intention to make, right? To create some sacred space. so, um, so having a place of intention helped me personally create and manifest with precision. So it really helped me rebuild my life in a beautiful way and full of intention, fully intentional. Just really, I mean, that's all we really want, right? Why would we want to build an altar? I know it like altars kind of have like a religious connotation to them too, but they don't have to be religious. Now, this class is a non-dogmatic class, but if you believe in the dogma, you're also welcome to this class too, because it just has beautiful information on how to set intention. This class is for everybody. Okay. Now, 3 reasons why you would build an altar. It would create more intention in your life, which is beautiful. Let's create with intention, create more peace within your home. There's nothing more calming than walking by your beautiful altar in your home. I have many, I have little ones everywhere. And it also creates a ritual. When we create a ritual, we bring we bring our intentions into our subconscious, right? And that's really important when you're creating a life rather than just going along with life. They're two very different things. This is one of my most favorite quotes regarding altars. All nature is the temple, earth is the altar, right? If you really think about it, nature, every little thing that we put around is the temple for our altar. All right, let's visit like a couple altars throughout history. We're not going to spend too much time here. This stuff can be Googled, but altars have been used since like the beginning of mankind. Okay, this is how we connect with the special world, with the spirit realm, with the ethers that we can't really see with our eyes, but we can feel. Altars are a great way of doing that. As you can see, so we have the Pyramid of Giza, which is top left. We have on the right, the black and white photograph is a fire altar in Iran, like ancient Iran, and bottom left is a fire altar in ancient India. You'll notice throughout this class that fire is often used in an altar, and we'll explain that a little bit later. Now, my personal background is that I'm Persian, and my ancestors were directly linked to the Persian Magi, which are the originators of magic, both on my mom's side and my dad's side. So I have it with me from all ends. So Magi, or the Magians, were the originators of magic. They studied astronomy, astrology, alchemy. They connected with the ethers. They were able to use their body and communicate with this special world. They use an altar as a centerpiece for their magic, their instrument for making magic come to life. And this is my intention for this class, is to show you how to create your own magic and make your own magic come to life. They worked with the earth's energy, which later on, you know, a lot of witches started doing, a lot of Wiccans still do today. And a lot of different religions actually also use this. The type of magic they used was actually being used all around the world. So your altar is, in a way, your vision board. So anything you want to bring to life, you can use an altar for. Okay, let's let that soak in a little bit. Think about Dia de los Muertos, right? With the altars and the families. Let's think about the deities on altars and all around India. Let's think about the Church of Jesus Christ with like Christ in the altar. Just there's so many different ways that humans use the power of altars. So there are a few rules to altars. Don't worry. We're not going to put ridiculous rules about, but these are kind of important, okay? One, you have to keep it clean. Your space of intention has to be clean. You just have to wipe it down when it gets dusty. You don't have to be too meticulous about it. Just dust it, and like serve it once in a while. Tend to it. All right. You have to be intentional with what you place on your altar. Don't put a whole bunch of garbage on there. Don't set up an altar and then like the next day put your paperwork on the altar, right? Keep your altar with reverence, right? Keep it intentional. Every little object put on there, put a little bit of love into and place it into your altar. Number 3, have fun with it. All right. I know that the word altar can also be linked to a lot of seriousness, but have fun with it. Create joy with your altar. This isn't supposed to make you feel guilt. This isn't supposed to make you feel lack. This is supposed to be a really fun intention setting session with you and yourself. Okay. This is for you and you can treat it beautifully. That's it. Those are the 3 rules. All right. We can do this. So how to set up your altar. Let's go over a few things we need for the altar. And so before we really go into like the different ingredients we're going to use in our altar, I want you to know that none of it's mandatory. An altar is a sacred space. And if it's your personal altar, it's a sacred space for you. So you can do whatever you want with it. See if whatever I say resonates with you or not. You don't have to do it all, just whatever resonates with you. This is for you, and you are the creator here. You are the one creating the vision board, okay? So one way the Persian Magi built their altar was that they incorporated all of the elements, which is earth, water, fire, air, and spirit. You need all 5 in order to create a full altar. But again, it's up to you. If it doesn't vibe with you, no worries. All right, first, earth. All right, so earth represents groundedness, stability, potential, stillness. It's like all the way down at the root, the base of your body. Some things that you could put on your altar that represent earth could be dirt. I have dirt from Iran on my altar. Grass, bark, earth, flowers, fruit, herbs, you know, like lavender, rose petals, whatever you think, whatever you're drawn to that comes from the earth, right? You can put a banana on your altar, anything that you are calling and is being called to. All right. So in a way, we are honoring the earth by placing something of the earth on our altar. While we're on this topic too, I know some traditions and religions use sacrifice with their altars, and sacrifice could mean like taking a flower and putting it on the altar. I just want you to know the Persian Magi did not believe in killing and putting a dead something or offering something dead to the altar. And they thought that that was in a way, that would block the intention setting in a way and the communication with a different realm. So there we go. Just had to say that. All right. So the next element we're going to put on our altar is water. Water is widely used in so many different practices. All right. Water holds information. We are all made out of water. And water is one of the most powerful manifestation tools out there. It represents emotions, reflection, love, creativity, purity, fertility, life, motion, renewal, transformation. So rainwater is the best. I mean, we all know rainwater is the best, but rainwater is really the best for your altar. So next time you know it's going to rain, just put a bowl out there or whatever vessel you want and collect some rainwater. All right. So rainwater is also considered element water because it has lightning, thunder, storm within it, right? So lightning is basically a representation of fire, and it means like power, energy, magic, lust, right? Thunder is a representation of air, and it connects to spirituality, health, knowledge, and strength of the storm is tied to earth energy, which is like nature, grounded wisdom, all things material. So if you are not going to put anything else on your altar, the only thing that I recommend absolutely to be on there is water. Water is very sacred. And if you want to create intention with your water, you can always put your hands over the rainwater that you collected and set your intention within the water. You just put your hand over it, you feel it in your heart, and you give whatever intention you want to the water. Next element is going to be fire. Fire represents creation, destruction, transformation. All right. And one very safe way of doing it is candles, but if you're going to leave your house, don't leave the candle lit. A lot of magic practitioners like to leave the candle on. You don't want to blow the candle out, so you leave the candle until it's fully done. One way to keep it safe is to put it like in a bowl, in a small bowl, the candle in there, and then have a larger bowl filled with water around it so that the candle doesn't tip over or something like that. I highly do not recommend leaving candles unattended. Please don't do that, okay? Now, different candles can represent different emotions, different things that you're calling in. White candles call in something new, something peaceful. If you need healing, white candles really help. Black also, some people think it's like a negative thing, but black candles are just like a release or a banish of something. Like, I don't want this feeling like of jealousy or something like that. I don't want this feeling of greed within me. Like, it's banishing something that's usually within yourself or your subconscious. The color blue represents peace, protection, astral projection. So if you are looking to start practicing astral projection, a blue candle on your altar with that intention is highly recommended. I have tried this and it definitely does help. Brown is for protection for the household specifically, telepathy, and stability. The color silver is like a neutralizer of negative energy. Green is for prosperity, and it also like pushes away jealousy. If someone's like jealous of you, the green candle will help repel them. It's also, if you're calling in money, green is the way to go. Orange is for extra energy if you need more energy. Orange, or a control over yourself, like if you can't stop binge watching, that these are like ridiculous examples, but if you can't stop doing something or need control over yourself, the orange one with that intention is a great color. Pink is for love, for giving, for friendship. Purple is for intuition, wisdom, power, and independence. If you are trying to open your third eye, perhaps, the purple candle will really benefit you with that intention. And I know you keep hearing me say with that intention, but when you light the candle, you set the intention of what you desire, okay? Red is for fertility, strength, and courage. Yellow is for well-being, self-esteem, attraction. All right. All right. Last but not least, actually not last but not least, there's one after this, but air. Air represents breath, life, communication, or as they say in India, prana, like the life force energy. Air is a very beautiful element to put on your altar, and one way that you can do this is by lighting an incense, because the smoke will represent the air, and the scent of an incense can also have an impact on what you are intending to achieve or manifest. Now, the different scents, there are so many, but I made a very short list for you. The different scents, if you're looking for optimized health, are bay, carnation, cedar, eucalyptus, juniper, lavender, lemon balm, myrrh, pine, sage, sandalwood, thyme. If you're looking for love, apple, musk, rose, basil, cinnamon, chamomile, jasmine, lemongrass, patchouli, peppermint. If you're looking for career life path information or manifestation, vanilla, allspice, clove, nutmeg, pine, mint, honeysuckle, bayberry. And for spirituality, if you're trying to open up your third eye and connect deeper spiritually, frankincense, sweetgrass, gardenia, pine, violet, sage, jasmine, sandalwood, and rose often really help. Now, before we move on, sage was mentioned a couple of times here, and I want you to know that if you are using sage, make sure that it is ethically sourced. Sage is very much intended for indigenous humans who inhabited this this land. So if you are not originally from this land, please do not use sage. There are so many other choices for you. All right, the last element, spirit, you, the ethers. All right. And the spirit represents the breath, the life, communication. Okay, us communicating, that's a big part of our spirit. We're here to collaborate, communicate, partner. So one way you can incorporate spirit into your altar is photos of your ancestors. Okay, so a lot of times in the spiritual world, we forget to call in our ancestors. We ground to the earth and we connect ourselves materially, right? We connect to the ethers and connect ourselves spiritually. But there's one element missing there. The one thing that makes you unique and not just a human, and that's your DNA, where your DNA came from. Your DNA holds so much information. Your ancestors hold so much information, and this information is waiting to be shared with you if you call on it. You can call on your ancestors, and one way of doing that is just putting their picture up, bringing them into your subconscious, into your everyday life, channeling their intentions, channeling their superpowers. I don't think that I have felt whole until I started calling on my ancestors, the mystics, the ones that I'm drawn to and I'm inspired by, that who I want to allow to live through me, right? Call on your ancestors. They will provide a lot of information for you. So another way to incorporate the spirit is put photos of yourself throughout the ages up on there. Maybe the inner child that needs to come back to life. Maybe the teenager that was in so much pain that needs a little bit of honoring. different stages of your life. It doesn't always have to be bad either. Maybe like when you were at the happiest you ever were, like the best trip you ever took, incorporate pieces of yourself into your altar if you're drawn to that idea. You could also put different tarot cards you're drawn to, like the Empress or the Magician, whatever you're drawn to. Okay. Um, Photos of the ascended masters, like this idea is very driven from the temples that I visited in India, where people make shrines, like giant shrines of these ascended masters. They make giant deities, like there's the Ganesha temple or Krishna and Radha or Shiva. So you can incorporate ascended masters into your altar as well. And last but not least, crystals, right? Crystals are so amazing. I'm a big advocate for crystals because I really have felt their power. I'm a true believer in crystals. So crystals receive and transmit radio waves. Okay. This is a really cool thing because this is the whole reason that we have the computer age. Your computer screen right now, your phone screen right now, the circuits, the electronic chips are all made out of crystals, and usually it's quartz crystal, but many different crystals are used for different things. Your watches, crystals are amazing tools, but they're not just useful for electronics. They also have healing powers, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay. Just the fact that they can receive and transmit radio waves. We humans are always sending out waves as well. We are all frequencies and waves. So using a crystal to amplify certain waves within us is really beneficial. And to amplify waves within your altar and your intention can be really beneficial as well. So a few different crystals. There are so many crystals out there, but I made a list of a few so that we can get inspired. But if you are going to choose just one crystal over them all, I would say the clear quartz is the ultimate crystal. It is so amplifying. It amplifies other crystals too. So this crystal is just like magic, all right? It's healing, it balances the elements, it aids psychic development, and also it balances the elements. We're putting all these different elements on our altar, so why not amplify them with a clear quartz crystal, right? Amethyst is also like a beautiful crystal. I mean, they're all beautiful, but amethyst is the first time that I felt my third eye open. I was walking through a crystal shop right next to this giant amethyst, and I felt this tingling, like it felt like somebody was like dancing on my third eye, and it just went up. And after that, like the walk home, all the colors were super vibrant. Like I was like elated and in like this mood of just all loving. Like it was a beautiful walk. And I live in San Francisco where the scenery sometimes is not so beautiful. So to have that emotion just jump out of nowhere was really reassuring for me to believe in crystals. But the amethyst is dispelling anger and anxiety, aids in feeling less scattered. So if you're feeling scattered, amethyst is a really, really great crystal for that. It also is really good for psychic development as well. Carnelian, it purifies the blood, stimulates sexual emotions. So it balances out your sacral, and that's really important for creation. Lapis lazuli heals headaches, depression, insomnia, and high blood pressure. Malachite increases energy. It's good for change, creativeness. And ancient Egyptians used to crush it and wear it as eyeshadow to guard against the evil eye. And for those of you who don't know what the evil eye is, it's when somebody throws like jealousy at you, like when they're envious of something you have. It's been thought throughout, like in Iran too, like where I grew up, but it's been thought that this energy that gets thrown at you when somebody is like jealous or just wants to bring you down because you have something they don't have. This energy actually weighs heavily on the person that it's being thrown at. So the evil eye helps repel that so that it gets sent back to them. Moonstone. Oh my God, I wear a moonstone ring all the time. It's the stone of magic. It increases psychic abilities and also really good for astral projection. Can you tell that I have astral projection on the mind? This is like my new love. Rose quartz is the love stone, and it also helps balance emotions. So if you're feeling like you're going on roller coasters of emotions, the rose quartz is a great one to put on your altar. I have one on my altar. Turquoise, it's for strength and protection. Turquoise is actually a stone that can be found almost like anywhere in the world. So if you are going to use turquoise, maybe try to find one that ancestrally is tied to you, because it's also a really sacred stone for Native Americans, for indigenous humans who inhabit this land. So not using their resources would be really nice, and finding one that is from your lineage would be more powerful for you anyway. And in Arabia, or like Iran where I'm from, it's also the stone of meditation. So it's protection, absorbs negative energy, and it's calming. We have a different turquoise in Iran where it's a lot more blue. It's like brighter. It's not as turquoise colored, but it's still turquoise. All right, now that we have an idea of how to set up an art altar, okay, then what do we do with it? Now, before we like really dive into what we do with our altar, I want to let you know to intuitively set your altar up and not think too much about it is really beneficial for you. Just place things where they feel right for you. I know that some religions and some practices call for like different shapes and whatnot. You can incorporate different shapes like circles, triangles, or squares within your altar, but it's not necessary. In the beginning with the Persian Magi, they weren't incorporating shapes like that, although they did have specific placement for the water. It wasn't that important. The intention's the most important thing. So if a circle, a square, or a triangle makes you feel like you can act with more intention, then go and do it. But don't do it just because you think you should, because this is your sacred space, and tapping into your heart while you're building it is the most important part, because this is for you. It's for you. So how do we use our altar? Okay, so to use your sacred space, you want to use your body as the tool. Okay, I know some other practices also call for physical tools. You can incorporate those if you want, but you don't need them. Your body is the only tool you need. So your body has energy flowing all through it. Sometimes some places in your body have more energy, sometimes less. All right. One way to use this new sacred space of yours is to meditate by it. Okay, so if you can start a daily meditation practice, maybe start with like 5 minutes a day and build it up by 5 minutes every week. It would be really beneficial for you. If you're looking for a really good meditation, we have a really amazing grounding meditation recorded on our community called Mighty Networks. So you can find us under Magic Inclined, and you can gain this meditation for free. It's really cool. After you meditate, you can use it to visualize. So visualizing would be the intention setting here. What are you intending to do? What are you calling in? What are you letting go of? You can visualize this actually happening. If you want to be a certain way, visualize yourself that way. If you want to rid something in your life, visualize yourself without it and really tap into the emotion. The way we use our body as the tool, and the way we can really travel to different realms and manifest with precision, which is written here. This is something my friend Elliot always says, actually. But the way we use our body is by using the emotions that live within it. All right. And there are so many different emotions that we carry. And by tapping into these emotions, usually your heart center, you can manifest. You can, I mean, we're always manifesting. This is like, this word can be really annoying because I'm manifesting right now. You know, like we're always manifesting. Like that's what humans do. Like we're just manifesting, but making it more precise and with intention is what we're doing here. Call in what you are looking for. And also remember that there are systems put in place sometimes that keep us from being able to manifest exactly what we want. So if it's not working, it's a system that's been put into place to keep us from having that. But with that being said, you can still create a reality for yourself that is filled with love and intention. All right. So after you visualize, you can also send love with your altar. Now, sending love, I know may sound cheesy to some, but it is one of the most powerful tools you can have ever. All right. You can send love to someone across the world, and I bet you they're going to feel it. Maybe you get a call the next day. Maybe you get a call in a minute. All right. Try it. Try it. Leave it in the comments below. Let me know your story because I know it works. Sit there, meditate, visualize, then with your heart, deep in your heart, send someone love and see what happens. Set an intention. So as we are setting up our altar, we can set an intention with each item. Like if I'm putting down my ancestral picture, I put the intention down that I'm calling them into my altar. I'm calling this person to my altar. If I'm setting down a certain crystal, I'm calling the intention I have behind putting the specific crystal down. This is a really powerful way to set up your altar. Make everything you do with it intentional and watch your life change. Okay. So use your body to trigger outcomes you desire. This is what I was talking about. So I have a photo here of the chakra system, and the chakra system is very popular. We've all seen it, right? And you can see it goes from root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown. The crown is like above your head right here. And then on the right, you can see the meaning for each chakra pretty much. Root is like basic trust, like safety. Okay. Sacral is like sexuality, but creativity. This is where humans create from. It's from this area, like a couple inches down from your belly button. The solar plexus is for wisdom, for power. So when you need that like extra power or that extra oomph, you can call on your sacral and like really just go in with it, right? The heart chakra is for love and healing. When you're hurting, drop down into your heart and see what that feels like. When somebody else is hurting, you can drop down and like give them love that way. Also, the throat chakra is for communication. So I called on that chakra today. If you need to be eloquent, if you need to communicate, if you need to tell somebody how you feel, you can connect to that chakra and see if it feels like blocked or not, right? Open it up so that you can communicate efficiently. The third eye chakra is awareness. So this is like the third eye where we see what is not spoken, right? We can call on that if we need to be a little more intuitive with our decisions. So let's say I'm going in for a job interview or something like that, and I call in my intuition to see if this is even the place I want to work, if I can pick up any weird vibes with my boss or like the people working there, right? The crown chakra is for spirituality. When you're trying to connect to the special realm, we can jump up over our head like right here and connect. Now with each of these chakras, there's a different emotion, right? Like your root chakra would have like a lack feeling. So when you're feeling lack, know that you're in your root chakra and something needs to be resolved. If you're not feeling creative, or if you need to be more creative, and so on, right? Like, we know what to tap into now. But you can use this chakra system with your intention setting, right? So figure out what intention you're trying to set. Let's say, for example, let's use the job or career example again. All right. So that's your basic needs. Like, are your basic needs covered? Drop down into your root chakra and check what you are trying to achieve by applying at a job, what you are trying to achieve by starting a new business, right? And once like you figure out what you want to achieve, then you want to tap into that sacral energy to bring this new venture into life and create. Okay, so use your body and the energy that you hold within you in your altar intention making. I hope that this course was informative, or this workshop was informative. I want you to know that creating a sacred space is solely dependent on you. You don't have to listen to what anybody says. And I hope that I provided some pretty good examples for you to be able to create your own space. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. I had so much fun putting this little workshop together. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. I love answering questions, and make sure that you like and you hit subscribe for more magic, because we have free workshops coming up all of the time. All right. See you guys later. Thanks so much.